So, good morning, students. Today I'm going to discuss the concept of optimal physics and how to use them for cracking competitive exams. So, let's discuss the worksheet. So, today the topic of discussion is optimal physics and it is entitled for optimal performance in JEE NEET. So, let's first of all analyze that how a normal student prepare and how is the optimal preparation different from a traditional or the conventional study process. So in conventional study process, first a student read theory, let's say the 5 pages theory, then he do certain question which are comprising of facts, concepts and tricks. But when you study by this pattern, there is a thought pattern induced in you. You think in a certain way, thoughts are induced, and thoughts leads to confusions, anxiety, frustration, depression. And because of these emotional conflicts, there is a very less output. Just check yourself, just ask yourself what you studied today, and ask yourself how many facts, how many concepts or tricks you are able to fetch it out right now. Because when you solve a question, it's a testing of your retention capacity to retain what you studied. So traditional or conventional study basis is of low output. It is comfortable, you feel comfortable, but it doesn't yield any comfortable output. Now let's study optimal physics, the preparation via the optimal physics mechanism. So the optimal physics is designed on the basis of lecture cards. So you just study the optimal theory which is just needed to solve a question. No thoughts or nothing like that. It's just the optimal theory, only the information which is relevant to solving questions. Then is a use of optimal worksheet, as I have explained in many of my videos. You can search worksheets on that. I'll be explaining the concept of worksheet in the just right now. But there is a concept of use of worksheet. Then it is focused on problem solving skills, because we have the straightforward mentality to make you learn the problem solving skills and getting the answers asked in the exams. So it's just focused on that. Then the worksheets are of gradual level. We start from level 1, which involves very simple questions, the fundamental concepts, the vocabularies, so that you can start from level 1. So it's a gradual level worksheet. Then it is optimized for performance in JEE NEET, because gradually we cover all the PYQs and a level higher than the PYQs based on permutation and combinations of different situations, different patterns. So it's optimized for performance in JEE NEET. Then another feature is it includes NCRTs and PYQs. Then it includes problems from level 1 to level 3. Then it covers of lot of practice problems. And the most important is it's based on psychologically designed mental patterns. So if you study in this form, in the pattern of optimal physics, then obviously there will be a you will have to work a lot, but ultimately output will be better. You'll be able to retain better, you'll be able to perform better. So it's a basically optimization tool for your performance in JEE NEET. Now let's see the concept of optimal worksheet. So here is the level 1 worksheet on the topic of velocity. So the very first question is velocity, so it's a vector quantity. Then is dimension of velocity, it is m0 l1 t minus 1. Then is SI unit of velocity, it is meter per second. Then is CGS unit of velocity, it is centimeter per second. Then is types of velocity, so there are two types, average velocity and instantaneous velocity. Then is average velocity is equal to, so average velocity is displacement upon time. Then is instantaneous velocity, it is dr by dt. Then in the next question we are being given a graph. So in graph we must know that velocity is tan theta, which is slope of xt graph. If we are given 3 points, then v is equal to tan theta. Next question is velocity is positive. So velocity is positive where angle is acute. So you can see that at this point angle will be acute. So velocity will be positive at point C. Then is velocity is negative. So it will be negative when angle is obtuse, which corresponds to point A. Then is velocity is 0, so it will be 0 when angle is 0, it corresponds to point B. So this is the analysis that we can use this, and it's an optimal worksheet of level 1. So after you complete the 9 questions, you have a basic idea of the basic terms, basic concepts, and it's a gradual worksheet because we started with very simple question, and gradually we moved to question 9, which is an integrated application of 1 to 8 steps. Now let's see the level 2 worksheet on this. So level 2 worksheet is that a particle is moving along x-axis such that x is equals to t square minus 90 plus 20. The unit of x is meter. First question is x at t is equal to 0, so it's a 20 meter. Then is x at t is equal to 2, it is 6 meter if you calculate. Then there is third question, which is find the time when x is 0. So you just substitute x is equals to 0, you comes to the quadratic equation which has got roots 5 and 4. So at t is equal to 4 and 5, x is 0. So the particle is at origin at 2 instants, t is equal to 4 and t is equal to 5. Then is instantaneous velocity, which is dx by dt. So differentiating this equation, we have 2t minus 9. Then is velocity at 2 seconds. So substituting t is equal to 2, we have velocity as minus 5. The next question is displacement during 0 to 2 seconds. So it is x2 minus x0. After solving, we get minus 14. Next is average velocity. So average velocity is displacement by time, which is minus 14 by 2 or minus 7 meter per second. Next is x max. So if we analyze the graph of xt, it will be a parabola, and we can see that it will tend to infinity for t tending to infinity. Then is x minimum. So we know that the quadratic equation has got a maxima at the midpoint. So 5 and 4 has the midpoint as t is equal to 4.5. And when we substitute t is equal to 4.5 in the equation, we get minus 0.25, which corresponds to the minimum value of x. So you must have seen we started with very simple questions, and at the last it is the most difficult question of all. So it's designed on the basis of a mental pattern such that if you complete question 1, then using that learning you move to question number 2. This is how things work. This is how good students approach. Because if you see any good student, he has got a very good mind-brain coordination. He has got very strong mind-brain algorithms. But all of these were developed using the concept of recursive learning. One thing which is sure in life is we continuously learn. There is a gradual learning. Whatever is happening with us, whatever information we get through our surrounding, it improves our mind-brain coordination. It improves ourselves. It improves the quality of life. So one thing is sure in human nature, it's gradual learning. So all of these worksheets are based on the fundamental concept of gradual learning. Initially, a student has simple algorithms, is able to connect only a few things. But the moment you learn things, with gradually it's getting more complex, more more complex, and you can say that more lengthy and more strong. And very strong algorithms are needed to crack competitive exams. So you can just analyze that if I ask you question number 9 directly, then you will feel difficulty because it's at the higher level of the notes. So for attempting this question, you have to move from step 1 to step 9, and you have to develop the neural patterns from step 1 to step 8 first. Then you will be able to attempt question number 9. So this is what happened during JEE NEET preparation, because questions are from the higher ends and you cannot directly approach them or you cannot directly make them until your mind-brain system has followed the process of learning gradually from step 1 to step 8. It's not possible directly to move to step 9 because you have to learn that yourself. You have to develop those mind-brain algorithms which are needed to crack question number 9 of a particular pattern. So that is how optimal physics is different from traditional studies, because conventional studies just about sitting and studying, getting thoughts, emotions trapped in thoughts. It involves a very less quality working. It's not oriented for getting the answers. Whereas optimal physics is designed on the basis of psychologically designed pattern that you are studying just to get the answers, just to solve your questions. So it's just a focused approach to problem solving skills. So that's how the concept of optimal physics works, and it's just an optimization tool so that You are not trapped in any sort of thoughts, emotions, anxiety, depression, anything like that. And just focus on your studies and just optimize your time, energy, and emotions to yield a quality life, to crack competitive exams, to be selected in best colleges of our country and abroad, and at all live a quality life. So this is the entire sole purpose behind optimal physics. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the doubt section. Thank you and have a nice day.